On this episode of Shannon Ayers Speaks,
we want to welcome the absolutely beautiful, talented, oh my gosh, it's such an honor to have Miss Angie Stone here with the Hello Beautiful family. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Shannon. This is awesome. You might be prettier, but you're not stronger. You're not better. You can't do it better than me. And I worked extremely hard to make them accept my beauty. I looked in the mirror every day and I said, hey, you got good skin, you have full lips, but you're still kind of cute. So don't let that sway you. And so when I tried out for cheerleader, I didn't just get a cheerleading job. I got captain of the cheerleaders. Sometimes, God allows us to make the mistakes we make just so we can get the lesson out of it. Now, I'm in a place right now, believe it or not, because of the pandemic, because I've been in the house for over a year, I've come up with so many things that I'm so excited about. I hadn't been this excited since I left South Carolina when I was 17 to be Angie B. So it's all about one being able to touch their dream. You can dream. If you can dream it, you can touch your dream. So I'm about making sure that people touch their dreams.
How does Angie Stone define self-love? We want to welcome the absolutely beautiful, talented, oh my gosh, it's such an honor to have Miss Angie Stone here with the Hello Beautiful family. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Shannon. This is awesome. Thank you. And you are so beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. I am in good company.
Oh, thank you.
Now, this is an honor. I have followed you for quite some time. And even though this is Hello Beautiful by Shannon Ayers, where we encourage women and girls to understand their beauty by design and know their worth.
Yes.
That's what Hello Beautiful was founded upon. But I have to tell you, one of my most favorite songs of yours is Brotha.
I knew you was going to say it.
It is that song, and I tell you why it resonates with me.
Yes.
Because even though as women, and most women platforms, of course, we want to encourage one another and build one another up, but we can't leave out our brothers.
That's right.
Because, we are them and they are us. And when I listen to the words and I listen to the lyrics and I listen to the way, you pumping them up from the street corner to the jailhouse.
Yes.
And growing up in the hood of New Orleans, that resonates with me.
Yes.
Yeah, that song takes you to a place. I have a son, I have a husband, I have a father, I have cousins, I have uncles, friends, and so that song just I could put that song on a loop.
Yes.
Where did that come from?
Well, being that I'm an only child and I was raised in the South, I didn't have any brothers. So, everybody adopted me as their little sister. But the song was actually between Raphael Sadiq and a brother by the name of Harold Lilly and myself. I think they like to test stuff out with me. And because I was almost like that sister with the voice for the people, I had a daring personality and no one had done Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud since James Brown. And he took a shot in the dark and it worked. I really didn't think it would ever get played on the radio because I didn't want people to think I was prejudiced because I was, pumping up our brothers. But for me, the time was necessary because it was too easy for us to call men scrubs and bums. And guys had started to look at women as the B word, the H word, and everything but the Q word. And I said, before I allow them to, degrade our kings, I would call them out and cause them to rally with us. And when the song was written, when it was done, we knew we had something special. And I wanted to be a voice for the brothers, especially a lot of the brothers that were on lockdown and that was going through a lot of unjust treatment, to let them know that, hey, Not everybody thinks you're scrubs. Not everybody thinks you're worthless. I happen to know that the Bible, created Adam first and not Eve. So for me, the Bible tells us that we should allow the man to be the head of the house. And I wanted him to know that we recognize what their place is, no matter what society dictates.
That's deep. Oh, Alyssa, you don't went someplace now. It's interesting because, as I shared with you earlier, my husband is a pastor.
Yes.
And some of those things came up this morning as we were having service,
Wow.
talking about that order. And I was just talking about as women, back in the day, we were just really sharing with our young people how as women, we're beautiful, we're strong, we're smart, we're all of these wonderful things. But because of the way we were handled and because of the way we were treated back in the day, then it caused us to go, to a far extreme with getting to a place where we act as though we don't need them.
Yes.
And that's dangerous. That's dangerous. In order for me to need my husband, that does not diminish my intellect. That does not diminish my capability to take care of my home. I find honor in that.
Yeah.
I find honor. It does not, we made things that we do well, we made them marginalized. And
Yeah.
in order to cook for my husband, I'm just this kind of subservient. Look, no. As a matter of fact, my husband, he always tells me that I'm smarter than him, which I find hilarious. But just wanting to be able to honor them. No, all men don't respect women the way that they should, but all women don't respect men the way that they should either.
Absolutely.
And so in this season, I started incorporating interviewing more men.
Yeah.
Well, last season we didn't interview any, but I always say they need to know how beautiful we are too.
Exactly. And that song basically lets, they don't bother me no more. When I did No More Rain in This Cloud, all the men thought I was mad at them and, my wife fussing at me because of the song. Brotha came out after No More Rain. So I had to win the strength back because I didn't want them to get it twisted. Like this is just about another girl bashing a brother. And so when I went completely left, and like, all right, sisters, y'all know I done did No More Rain in This Cloud. I done did Seems You Much Too Busy. I done did So Pissed Off. Let me take care of the kings because they gonna get mad at me. And I promise you, that song live does so much for their pride. Men stand up, they put up their power, their chest is stuck out, they strut the stage, they walk over. And I feel absolutely honored to know that that song causes them to rise up.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful. And that brings me to, I was watching, I don't know, was I watching one of your interviews or if I was reading the script of one of your interviews, but you were dubbed as a lady of soul.
Yeah.
Tell me this. How do you feel about being dubbed a lady of soul?
I feel wonderful because I am bred from the church. And I don't think any about neo soul, R&B, soul music. I think all of it comes from gospel music. I think the church, the wood floors, the wood benches, the stomping, the tamarines, all of those things are elements of worship. And I just feel like when you touch, a lady of soul is a person, in my opinion, soul music is one who is able to touch a soul. And I feel like if music can cause you to emit a feeling or an emotion that causes you to shake or shiver or have a outcry or a purging of some kind, then your soul has been touched. So it means that I am suited for the gift that God had given me. And I just want to make sure that I use it properly.
Oh, beautifully put. Wow. That is a very good way to look at it because it just seems as though in talking with you, even before we started this interview, that you allude a lot to your faith. Tell me about the young Angie Brown growing up that developed into the Angie Stone that we see today.
Well, the Angie Brown that nobody, well, just my classmates and people in my hometown knew was a little scrawny, dark-skinned girl with full lips and dark skin that my parents went to Booker T. Washington, which was a school that was predominantly dark-skinned. And their rival was C.A. Johnson High School, which a school was predominantly white and mulatto kids. I ended up having to go to that school. Therefore, I had to work 10 times as hard. But because I was in church every Sunday, going to Sunday school, I began to learn the value of faith. And as a result, before I was 14, well, when I was 11, I started singing in the choir. And by the time I was 14, I had received the Holy Ghost. Once I was touched by the Holy Ghost, my desire, my thirst for the word just became outrageously humongous. I went to Upward Bound and I was consumed with learning more of the word. One would say, why is she so godlike? Because you know what? I didn't leave it up to my mom. I didn't leave it up to my church. I went and I searched. I did Methodist. I did Baptist. I did Holiness. I did Jehovah's Witness. I was in search for the truth. And in finding God himself, I began to find out that my faith was the truth. And all I had to do was believe that he was real and he existed. And he guided my steps every step of the way. I can tell you that when I step out of line, and trust me, doesn't mean I'm perfect. I do. I've made quite a few mistakes, but I'm quick to fall to my knees and ask God to forgive me because I know better. But sometimes we just get wayward. We sway. But the little girl that you guys knew as Angie B, Angie Brown, I brought God with me when I left South Carolina, and he's never left me. And I have never left him.
Wow. And that is powerful. You know, being a part of an apostolic church, a holiness church.
Oh, I know.
I know all too well. And most of my life, I would say, since I was about 3 years old.
Yeah.
You know, so pretty much being raised in the church, I understand all too well. So tell me this, because I know the places that I was as a young girl. And when I look at my own daughters, I see myself in different
Yes.
stages, even when they make their mistakes. And I think about, okay, yeah, you did that too. You thought about that too.
Mm-hmm.
When you referenced being dark skinned with full lips, as a young girl, what did that do for you, knowing where things are even now, till this day in this country, with respect to skin color?
Well, we were supposed to believe that that was ugly, that wasn't acceptable, you'll never fit in. But I'm a Sag, and I'm a hard worker. I'm a determined person to prove that you might be prettier, but you're not stronger, you're not better, you can't do it better than me. And I worked extremely hard to make them accept my beauty. I looked in the mirror every day and I said, hey, you got good skin, you have full lips, but you're still kind of cute. So don't let that sway you. And so when I tried out for cheerleader, I didn't just get a cheerleading job. I got captain of the cheerleaders. You know, when so many people started to look to me for answers, that I began to think that, okay, maybe I'm not ugly. Maybe just being dark skinned is not as ugly as they try to make it seem. And one of the things that I made sure I did was held on to my virginity, because I didn't want to be all these things and then have all the boys looking at me like she's fast, she's loose. So I focused on the things that I desired, that was singing and sports. And when I did that and started winning the respect of my peers, because if all you had to say was she was full-lipped and dark-skinned, you know, it played out after a while because I didn't let it sway me. As a matter of fact, it became the one thing that infueled me to do the best that I could, because all those things didn't make me bad. It made me feared, and they feared what they couldn't control, and that was they couldn't break me.
Ooh, ooh. No, I mean that's what I want my Hello Beautiful audience to hear. Because so often, just naturally as women and as females, we're harder on ourselves.
Yes.
You know? And then when you throw in society, or you throw in school bullying, or you throw in a parent that didn't tell you you were cute enough, or paid you enough attention, then all of these things are playing like a tape in our head. But for you to take that thing and turn it around and be like, oh no, hold up, boo, wait a minute. You know what?
Can't break
can't break me. I have too much in me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I remember running for Miss Black Teenage South Carolina. And I think I got first or second runner up. I'd written my own song. I said, I was always a person that wanted to do, when everybody's going left, I'm going to go right. I always wanted to do things different because I just believe to follow the crowd doesn't make you special at all. When you stand out, it's because you do something different. And I heard God say, spiritually speak to me when I got nominated for the position that I won. He says, don't cry and don't worry. I've got something better in store for you. And everybody out in the audience was screaming, they're cheating. And I was smiling because I had heard from God, and it was, this is not it. This is something bigger coming for me. So I wanted my mom and everybody says to calm down. It's okay. God got something better in store for me. And it was, I couldn't even get out of high school before I got discovered as a singer. And that was the it factor. God had appointed this position and time for me. And all of the people that won those contests, all the people that were surrounding me, they are fans of mine now. So when I sit back and I look at last shall be first and first shall be last, I can recognize and I can see how God does things. And so I just trust him.
Wow. See, we're about to have church up in here. See, I didn't have you on here so we can have church, but come on now. No,
I am. Yeah. I can't apologize for loving him so much because in this particular industry, and you know how this industry is, I wouldn't be anywhere if I didn't trust him. And I can't apologize for loving him and trusting him. I just can't. It is who I am and what I am.
Yeah, which also speaks volumes of your talent. And I can only imagine with you coming from where you came from and then from there to here. And we all go through stuff. We all go through ups and downs.
Yes.
But what God has for you.
Say it now.
It really, what God has for you, I don't care what goes on and what happens. And again, we know the media and we know Hollywood and we know sensationalism and we know how people try to bask in what they consider to be your downfall or exacerbate certain things.
Yeah.
God sees all of that stuff. And he said, okay, you know what? Touch not my anointed.
Do my prophet no harm. It doesn't mean, though, that we're not going to run into issues and situations. I'll bring up one that you probably wouldn't want me to, but I'm going to do it because as a mother, I have children. And because, sometimes the generations that we're facing, the millennial generation, sometimes, this particular area that they're in is one of expectation. Our kids expect so much from us. And there's a spirit of entitlement that looms over this generation. And when I got into the alleged altercation, I have to say that because people don't know the truth, but they assume the worst. But I have to say, because of my God connection, they would take the worst of it or take the most of it and make it the worst thing ever. And I just want to say that as a parent, as a woman, as a mother, as a person that is in this world, but not of this world, but in this world, you're going to be faced with challenges and they never come out right when you're a champion for the Lord. So just know that everything is A-okay and believe half of what you see and none of what you hear.
And one of the things that I take, I'm glad you said that. One of the things that I take pride in my platform is, and I have made a vow to myself and a vow to the Lord, I will never bring anybody on my platform to embarrass them or say anything. If it's something that you want to share, you're welcome to. But I don't do the gotcha stuff, and I don't do the tea, and I don't knock anybody else for their thing. But the fact that you brought that up, I will share with you when all of that stuff first came out. And my husband knows because I've always been a cynic, and I've always been one to question, what I see before me.
Yes.
I can sincerely and honestly say, and even now being a parent, now myself of 4 children, with my oldest will be 21 this year. And my youngest, she'll be 14 this year. And as a mother, first of all, I don't live with you. I didn't raise your children. I didn't have any of these experiences. So who am I to judge and say one way or the other, or jump on the bandwagon of what's
Right.
going on. That to me, if anything, as a mother, it made me love you all the more, as well as your daughter, because unfortunately, with you being Angie Stone, it's going to play out in front of everybody. But we know there are a lot of normal family dynamics.
Yes.
No doubt that your love is any less for your daughter then as it is now.
Absolutely. I love both my children. And it comes with a heavy burden being children of celebrities. The spotlight is always on your kids. They're diminished in value because of who their parents are. So they have to fight. Like we had hurdles in high school, they have hurdles in the home. And those hurdles is everyone expects me to be you or better. And that can spark some type of rage, especially when you get into an age where you want your own identity. And, I've had to watch that in both my children. And I can honestly tell you, they're sweethearts, they're good kids, but at the end of the day, they're human beings and they're in and of this world as well. So we just have to take it with a grain of salt, pray, and know that God got us. But also know that this was prophesied. So we have to just gird our loins up for it and be ready. That's all.
Absolutely. And I know firsthand when I was growing up, a lot of people thought they knew who I was and thought they knew who I was going to be. And they labeled me in a lot of different ways. But I am here to testify that what God has for you is for you. It doesn't matter. Things will come up to kind of throw us. When someone had questioned me about, Hello Beautiful, that was a bit discouraging. It really was. But at the end of the day, I had to collect myself and get back in a place knowing that God gave me this. God gave me this years ago, and to have a platform where women can come and just share their truth. And also, and I purposefully look for celebrities, especially people like yourself, because my Hello Beautiful audience is you. As women, we all, at the end of the day, we all have to go home and close the door. We all have to go back and pull back, pull back the shade or look in the mirror. And the same experiences that you have as a woman, I guarantee you, probably like 9 out of every 10 women have had at least 1 to 5 of those experiences. So I thank you for your transparency, and I thank you for sharing that. And as a mom, it makes me respect you all the more.
Thank you.
All the more. And when I look at kind of what's going on right now with Kirk Franklin and his son, and again, as a parent, I don't know, I didn't hear a whole lot of, and I'm assuming that they're out there because people are talking about it. A lot of people are talking about people who are bashing Kirk Franklin. And, listen, at the end of the day, he's a man, he's a father, and the same thing with his son. His son is a man and he is a son. Things happen. But we are so quick to jump on it, and we're so quick to demonize. And of course, in the day and age of the cancer culture, you have to be so guarded and so protected. Hello, beautiful. I hope you are enjoying the iconic, the legendary, the absolutely beautiful Angie B. Stone. She is so encouraging and so inspiring. So do me a favor and hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and be sure to select the notification bell so that you can be notified of all of our future releases. And I really want you to drop a comment on this video and let Angie know just how much we love her for being here and for sharing with us. So now we're going to let you get back to the show. At this stage in your life, how affected are you about the Hollywood factor or the cancel culture factor? Does that affect you at this point in your life and career?
At this point in my life and career, not really much affects me because unlike this generation, when we were touring and on road trips and out with the best of the best, we were growing up and we were having fun in the prime of our life. We weren't as educated about the business aspect of it. I think this generation takes more to do with the business aspects of it, so that in the long run, they have the revenue that's something that we didn't do. So it doesn't affect me as much because I can honestly say we had fun and they're making dollars. And so for them, the making the money is the fun. For us, having the fun was just having fun. So it doesn't really, the Hollywood factor to me is when we get so consumed with the fake part of Hollywood and the perception of Hollywood. The thing that bothers me is some people actually believe their own hype. And when you begin to believe your own hype, henceforth, you're passing that torch on to a bunch of young people that believe that you believe it's true. And as a result, they believe beyond your belief that they can achieve it. And as a result, they're taking a wayward trip away from college. They're being led, in my opinion, down the wrong pathway. The transparency is a smokescreen. All of the fake Hollywood drama, all of that consumes the gift itself. So it doesn't affect me, not directly, but indirectly, I find myself trying to warn my children, do not get caught up in the hype. So therefore, I'm Dr. Angie Stone. So at that point, I am trying to mediate between what's real and what's not. So no, it doesn't really affect me. The fact that we're on a standstill, a hiatus, I'm going to always love music because it was a gift God afforded me, gave me. So whenever I can work and take care of my household by way of my gift, I'm going to do it because that was there. But if I never get to do it again, I trust that God said, I got you anyway. So it doesn't bother me. I don't know that everyone is as strong as I am, though.
Wow. No, that's awesome. That's
I think
awesome.
that's back and put it, because a lot of people, I've seen people commit suicide because they've been sold that lie for so long. They've been sold the dream for so long. And I'm the type of person where, okay, pinch yourself. Remember, it was just a dream. You got to do something different now. What do you got to do? You got to start working your gift. And your gift is just not singing. You have a mindset. If you could figure all that out, then figure out what's your next move. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm figuring out all my next moves because just in case, plan B is already in effect.
I know that's right. Well, your steps are already ordered anyway.
Yes.
So a lot of times the plan is already made. We just have to kind of step into it and just go on to the next level or go on to the next thing. If we hear, if we hear where it is that we're supposed to be going.
Yes.
Tell me, over this last year in 2020, with all of us being on lockdown, what have you learned, or have you learned anything new about Angie Stone?
Yes, I've learned a lot. And this last year was a very rough year for me as I took ill while we was in the pandemic. I lost my mother in January. Like I told you, I'm an only child. My mother died to COVID. And I was left to care her after coming off of my own illness. I was found non-responsive 3 different times. And as a result, my mother was worrying herself that something was going to happen to me. What I learned is, once again, trusting God was the only out I had. I couldn't go out the house. I had to watch everybody coming in the house. It was one of those things where there was nowhere else to turn. So I began to walk in the certainty that God knew all of this before I did. So even when I was unable to work and I couldn't move and I couldn't really, I stayed in the hospital on and off close to a year, but nobody knew it because we were very private with it. But when all of that was going on, I was still trusting. And as a result, I began to walk in my healing because God had promised me that He is the author of all things. And what I learned is that if I trust my gut instinct, that I will never go wrong. I trust the fact that my bounce back will be bigger than I ever thought it could be. I have to trust the fact that every time I put my mind to work as something that comes from the gift, it's going to be great. So where I am right now, I'm in a place right now, believe it or not, because of the pandemic, because I've been in the house for over a year, I've come up with so many things that I'm so excited about. I hadn't been this excited since I left South Carolina when I was 17 to be Angie B. I'm in a whole nother, it's like my last album was called Full Circle. Well, it's a full circle and I'm back to square A and I'm off and running.
That is awesome. And that brings us to our recurring theme. Our recurring theme this year is called Defining Self-Love. How does Angie Stone define self-love?
Well, Angie Stone defines a self-love as being a giver. I love myself the way I love others. I love others the way I love myself. A lot of people come up and say, you give too much. You can never give enough. In my opinion, God gave us life. He gave us so many chances. So I'm a person of many chances. I will give you as many chances as you think it takes to get right. So my self-defining moment is giving back, giving more of myself, giving more of my heart, and trusting that you're going to be just like me.
Oh my gosh, you've been giving some excellent answers here. You're kind of taking my breath away. I mean, no, it's very encouraging. It's very inspiring. And having met you today for the first time, you're true to form as to who I thought you would be.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not boring you because
Oh man.
My children, at some point they'll say you're old school, and I let them go ahead and do what they're gonna do. And after I done told them over and over again, they find their way all the way back around to me and say, Mom, I hate to say it, but you were right. I say, had you listened 6 months ago, you wouldn't be so far behind. But you keep on. I'll let you run into that brick wall that's waiting over there for you because you can't tell them nothing. So sometimes, there's a scripture in the Bible that says sometimes, God allows us to make the mistakes we make just so we can get the lesson out of it. So sometimes we have to just let things ride. People say, I'm supposed to let it ride. That's what I do. I let it ride. What I first told you is, I'm so happy to be on this platform because I've never really been invited to these things. And I haven't. Like, I've never been to a Black Girls Rock. I've never been to those things. And I'm like, okay. And so I had to learn to be okay with that because I'm a whole mouthful and handful. So a lot of people know that and they're like, I don't feel like all of that. And it's okay. But I have to make it count whenever I am in earshot of people so that they know that everything that I am is because of him.
Well, I will say that they've missed out because you are an absolute joy. You are an absolute delight. And I feel honored that you're still taking up time with little old me and just sharing.
You ain't little old. This is let me tell you something. Your steps are ordered too. And just like me, certain people come to certain people because God guided you to the people that would have you. And at the end of the day, your platform is just as big as anybody else's. We might have to come to the side door, but we still get to the party.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I lived my life for many years waiting to be invited. And Tyler Perry, I think he put it better than anybody else could have put it,
While everybody was fighting for a seat at the table, talking about Oscar so white, I said, y'all go ahead and do that. But while you fighting for a seat at the table, I'll be down in Atlanta building my own. Because what I know for sure is that if I could just build this table, God would prepare it for me in the presence of my enemies.
While you so busy trying to get to their table, I'm building my own.
I'm building my own. And he said a mouthful because that's where I am. I'm at the place where I've been acting for years now. I mean, when nobody was really on TV, I can remember Kelly Rowland, Beyonce, and all of them saying to me, oh, Miss Angie, I just want to be like you. I got to be like you. You're acting. And all of them, they're leaps and bounds ahead of me acting. But I can remember those conversations. I say, it's not hard. You will get there. And so now to see them, they spoke it. And because of their status, they are living it now. And I'm sitting back saying to myself, I knew that it would happen, but I've been there. So I know what it's like, and I know what it takes. Some things I'm willing to do, and some things I just never would. I won't sell my soul for anything. I won't compromise my integrity for anything. Certain roles I would never take because it would denounce my love of God. So it's just certain things I just won't do.
Yeah, no, and that's honestly getting to that point where it's just not worth it for no
Yes.
amount of money. It's just not worth it. I've been, I get some requests and some just, no, that's not what my platform is about.
Okay.
I could say yes to some things and blow up and be like other big, huge platforms, but all in God's timing.
Yes.
When you mention like the Beyoncés and Kelly, when you see how huge their careers are, you have to understand that in all of their success, think about how many of them you have encouraged and played a part in, these young
Yes.
people being able to glean from you and being
Yes.
able to learn some things or even be inspired by you to go on. While their career may not be your career or you may not do the same things that they do, just,
Right.
just that element of inspiration that would inspire someone to go after their dreams, that would
Yeah.
inspire someone to understand their work. It's huge and should
Yeah.
not be discounted by any measure.
That's right.
Any measure. So tell me, what do you have going on right now? Tell me about the seventh circle.
All right. The seventh hour.
Seventh hour. I'm thinking full circle. I'm thinking an album.
Full circle.
Yes, yes,
Gotcha.
yes.
Well, when I did Full Circle, let me start with, since we got both of those in the same line. Full Circle was the last album that I did. I felt like I had come to a complete circle in my career. I was like, okay, what are you going to do next? God started to minister to me. After the pandemic, I had spent a lot of time at home, and every time I turn around, I've been in contact with or introduced to someone who had God experience or a death experience. Someone had either gone to hell, God had taken them to show them what hell was like, prophesied to them, and they were able to come back and explain to them, this is what it was like in hell. This is what God showed me when he took me with him. I've become friends with all of these people. And so what we did was created show that I'm developing that we're calling Seventh Hour, where I've gotten all of these people. We get on a call every week and we're building the platform because I felt like God directed them all to me so that the presentation would be so profound that everybody would be drawn into it. So we're actually working on a show and a launch where people that have had these experiences with God have all come together in the same room at the same time. And we are going to have a huge God moment. So I'm excited about that. And I'm overwhelmed because God trusts me to lead these people and guide these people together. Even though we're all on an even keel, it's not about me, and nobody on the platform it's about them. It's about their experience. And I just say, God, what am I supposed to do with this? And he began to show me the steps to take. So it's all about one being able to touch their dream. You can dream. If you can dream it, you can touch your dream. So I'm about making sure that people touch their dreams. Also, I'm working on another show, a music-based show, where I can work with the millennials so that they don't get so consumed that they think making it in the music industry has to be so tough. We're trying to make an avenue for them to feel like they've already arrived and they don't have to go through a whole bunch of hoops to do it. They just want to have fun. So restoring the fun in the game is what I'm about. I don't want it to be about money. I don't want it to be about, oh, I'm trying to make all this paper and I'm trying to do. I want you to just have fun with the gift God gave you. And if you can tweak that to the 10th, 9th, 11th, 12th notch, guess what? You're going to have a hit every time, because at this point, you're enjoying yourself. And that's what music is supposed to do, make you enjoy yourself.
That is awesome.
There are some great things going on right now. And of course, I do my Psalm series every day. I'm reading the book of Psalms. When I finish that book, I'll go to the next book in the Bible, which is the book of Proverbs. We'll go on and on, but it is designed to make people fellowship together. And if they're impatient, they can't read the Bible, sit down with some friends, and maybe you'll feel better in a group of unknowns, people all over the world, celebrities or not, that join in just to go over a couple of scriptures a day. And I just make myself available to be there for people that might just need that.
Look at you. I mean, still doing it. And look at how God is using you at this point in your life to be such, to continue, I should say,
Yes.
to be an encouragement and an inspiration. That is awesome. Well, I tell
Thank
you, I look forward to it. So you know I'm going to stay connected with you. Because
Yes, please.
yeah, oh,
And
absolutely.
we sisters now, so even
Oh, yeah.
though your Hello Beautiful is the moment, I want you to know that we're sisters in Christ, we're sisters in song, we're sisters in spirit. So when I have a sister question, I'm calling you because I ain't got no real.
Please. Yes, ma'am. Oh, please. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Tell you what, you will have my phone number
Okay.
before we leave here, and we will make that happen. I mean, listening to a lot of the things, again, you're just true to form. You don't know. I'm keeping my professional composure, but I tell you what, you don't understand just how much listening to a lot of what you shared. I will say for me, given some of the things I've been going through over the last few months.
I know. I can feel you. I
Yeah.
feel it. Don't do it. I already feel it.
Yeah.
You can hold that back because God got you. And
Yeah.
whatever you've gone through, you've come through. And just remember that. You've come through it because God expects you to.
Yeah.
I knew He was going to do that. I knew it. I felt it before you started, but God got us. And that's why we were supposed to connect. It's something bigger than this moment.
I absolutely believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely believe that. And I thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
I thank you. Somebody had asked me, how do you choose the people that you interview? And truth be told, I don't. I don't. I don't. I do my due diligence and I reach out, to different people, but sometimes some people just come to me.
Yes.
And I just say, well, Lord, if it's your will, let your will be done.
Oh,
And it'll happen. Yeah.
we want
Yeah.
to understand, and I feel that, and as you probably going through it right along with me. We now know that this is bigger than this, and I just trust that your show, your platform is going to excel even beyond what you imagined, because God is setting you up. He's lining up your team of people. I'm already there, so you don't have to worry. You call me anytime you need me for anything. It's not about anything other than what you need to use me for. I'm here for you.
Thank you, Angie.
Okay?
That means a lot to me. Before we get out of here, we always do our word association, where I will say a word or a phrase to you, and you tell me what that means to you.
Okay.
First thing comes to you. My first word pops into your head. You ready?
Okay. Yes.
The sequence.
First female rap group.
Matronics.
First techno group that shook the world.
First Nazareth Baptist Church.
My humble beginnings, my first time ever singing on the choir where I was baptized.
Spiritual advisor.
If I listen for God's voice, it would be Jesus.
Iona.
My heartbeat.
Dreams.
Touching Him, knowing anything is possible.
Soul.
To be able to touch one's emotion.
Faith.
Think.
Faith.
Faith. Knowing that all things are possible through Christ. who strengthens me.
Trust.
The very necessary tool to move to the next step.
Angela Brown.
The overachiever.
And the most important one, Angie Stone.
The cornerstone. The stone that the builders rejected became the head cornerstone.
That is awesome. Tell us how we can find you.
On all platforms, you can find me at The Angie Stone, TheAngieStone. That's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm everywhere.
That you are. This has been such a joy, such an inspiration. I thank you so much. I feel so honored. I can't say it enough to share this moment with you. And I will cherish this. I will cherish it.
And I'm here for you. If you ever need me, you call me. Whatever you need me to do, if you ever need me to post anything, keep joining me on my lives. I'm going to let you into my Zoom meeting one day so you can get to meet. I want you to meet all of these people that I'm telling you about. You're going to lose it. Oh my God. Okay.
I love it. I look forward to it. I thank you. And until we meet again, I will say, stay blessed, stay encouraged, stay inspired, and stay beautiful.
Same to you, darling. You are my sister in soul, in song, and in Christ. I love you all, and I will be praying for you. Continued blessings to you, my sis.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Mwah.
On the next episode of Shannon Ayers Speaks, we are excited to meet the beautiful Erica Peoples.